Hello, anyone out there? I am doing another live video for some dinner prep and going to share a whole lot of things tonight. So if you're there, chime in, let me know that you're watching, and definitely ask questions along the way. I can already hear my dog scratching at the door. Last time he was barking. There's always something going on, right? So today we are going to talk about sweet potatoes and how amazing they are, how fabulous and delicious they are. Sweet potatoes are like, I don't know, they're everything, I think. I mean, I know people love avocados and think they're everything. To me, sweet potatoes are everything. I use them in so many things. I use them from meals to lunches to dressings to desserts. You guys know my chocolate sweet potato cake. And hi, Kristen. Thanks for sending a note. And yeah, so I use them in so many things, way beyond just eating straight up. And so I'm making dinner here now because it's 3:40 my time in Vancouver, and I plan to do a Kundalini yoga class tonight, and it's at 4:30. So I'm prepping dinner early so I can do my class and then have dinner ready. And I was teaching yoga this morning, so I wanted to make my chocolate zucchini bread before I taught yoga. So I have it here to show you chocolate zucchini bread. It did sink a little bit in the middle because, and guys, see, this happens to everyone, right? Sometimes you make a recipe, it doesn't always turn out perfectly, but the reason it didn't turn out so well this time was because I rushed it. I had to teach yoga and I needed to pull it out of the oven just a few minutes early, so it really needed about another 4 or 5 minutes to bake. But I actually like it when the banana bread, especially, not so much other quick breads, but banana bread, when it's a little bit gooey, like sticky and underbaked in the middle. Does anyone else like that? Is it just me? I love that. Oh, hi Alicia from Nanaimo. Nice to see you. It's starting to cool down here in BC already. I know many of you are in the stinking hot heat and would love for it to cool down, but it's weird because this morning it already felt like fall. Alicia, you probably are noticing that too. It's like, it's just weird. It's already cooling down. So anyhow, there's my chocolate zucchini bread, which is super yummy, and that recipe is on my site. And you do not have to grate the zucchini. So you chuck everything into a food processor, the wet ingredients, blend it up, and then with the dry ingredients, and it's super yummy. So let's talk sweet potatoes. And I have a few varieties here for you, and I'm baking some today as well because my husband's birthday is this week, and I'm going to make the chocolate sweet potato cake, which is from Plant Power Families and also on my site. I think most of you know the chocolate sweet potato cake. Let's see if I can find it real quick. If I can turn to it and show it to you. I should know what page it is. There it is. So I'm baking up. Oh, Beth says she just made the zucchini bread. Delicious. It's now a staple. Oh, I'm so happy to hear it. That's awesome. Hi, Leanne from Queensland. That's so cool. And Kimberly, it's like that in London, Ontario, or London, England. I'm not sure if you're in Canada, London, Ontario, or London, England. Definitely feels like fall. Yes, it does. Alicia, so weird. I mean, I don't know, our summers are short, I guess. Anyhow, so getting to the sweet potatoes. So I baked up a bunch this morning, and I'm going to try to turn my camera because the pan is still really hot. So I baked up a bunch of sweet potatoes here, and I have a few different varieties baking or cooked because I'm going to stuff them tonight. And I know a lot of people like to use the Instant Pot for sweet potatoes. I do in the heat when it's really hot. I probably should have today, but I prefer baking them. When you bake them whole, the flavor is so much more like concentrated. When they get steamed, they're still good, but I find that they get a little bit watery, like just a little watery, that's all. When they're roasted, and all I do is pop them, I give them a quick wash, pop them on a tray with parchment into the oven at about 425, 450, about an hour. Depends on the size of the sweet potato and the variety too, because the harder sweet potatoes take a little longer, and I'll explain that. Okay, so I have these baked, and I'm going to split them and then fill them with some goodness. And oh, Ontario. Thanks, Kimberly, London, Ontario. See, I love the underbaked banana bread too. And my daughter, Bridget, she will hack away at the middle parts to get that underbaked part, right? Rather than eating the ends. So I know I'm not totally alone, but I know it seems like a peculiar thing to me. But it is, it's good. Hi, Leanne. Oh, that's awesome. She says she makes the chocolate sweet potato cake every time for family celebrations. That's so fun. So I have a few different sweet potatoes here. And I will say that in Canada, sweet potatoes tend to be called yams, at least the orange ones. So here's an orange sweet potato. And this is, I think, a garnet yam. And if I scratch the surface, by the way, this isn't a fashion statement. It's occupational hazard of cooking so much and chopping. My wrists are starting to bother me a lot with all the chopping and such. So this helps stabilize. I'm not that cool to start a fashion trend like this. So if you scratch the surface of the sweet potato a little bit, you can see the orange skin. And then there's a jewel, I think this is a garnet, and then there's a jewel yam, which is a little bit darker orange, I find. So this is orange sweet potato or yam, and then I find the jewel ones are even a little bit darker. And I'm just seeing if there's any more comments. Then you may see sweet potatoes that then in Canada are called sweet potatoes because they're not orange. I don't know, go figure. And I do find in the States, everything's called a sweet potato, the orange, the yellow. And then this one, I'm pretty sure in the States, you guys can chime in and let me know, that these are called Hannah sweet potatoes. They have a creamy color skin, and I'm just scratching the flesh so you can see. Oh gosh, me and the camera. There, see? It's yellow underneath. So here, they're just called yellow sweet potatoes. But pretty sure that you guys may see them as Hannah sweet potatoes. And then these, I think, are called Japanese sweet potatoes, not Japanese yams. They're a different thing. They're like these really big tubers that have a really coarse brownish skin. I'm pretty sure these are called Japanese sweet potatoes in the States. And again, they have a yellow undertone, much like the ones I just showed, but they have a darker red tone skin. Are Hannah the same as Jersey? That's a good question, Kristen. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Like I said, here we see them as sweet potato, yellow. Sometimes this might be called Japanese sweet potato here. This one certainly is just called yellow sweet potato. But I know from seeing some posts online that these white or creamy color ones are often called Hannah. I think. And then this is a purple sweet potato, which looks a little bit like the red one, but you can see they're a bit different, right? Can you see how they do look a little different? You can see this one here has a more purple hue. And then if you scratch the skin at this, I'm sure produce managers would love us if they see us doing this. You can see it's purple underneath. And the purple sweet potatoes are super fun to cook with because they're so colorful. I will say they are a little more dry. So if you're expecting this to have the same texture as an orange sweet potato, it's not going to be quite the same. And I don't find they work really well for home fries. I use these, I bake them or steam them, and then I'll use them in recipes and chop them up for like salad bowls or use them in salads or fillings, that kind of thing. I actually have a recipe in the new book for a Maui gelato using these. And it's a chocolate-based gelato with purple sweet potatoes because we had some when we were there and it was really fun. So I have baked up all of these today except for the purple ones because I'm using them to stuff them tonight. So this is the yellow sweet potato. And when I slice it, you see, they're still pretty hot. It didn't come out of the oven too long ago. That's the yellow, which I think is called the Hana sweet potato. And then this is the other one with the yellow flesh, which I think is called the Japanese. And then the orange. And when I mentioned some of them cook quicker, I find the orange ones soften up the fastest. And the orange. They all smell amazing. And the orange ones are also, I find, the most moist. So for using them in baking, like with my chocolate sweet potato cake, they have the most moisture, usually. And then the yellow are a little more dry to me, and then the purple are the driest. Yes, Dawn, they are yummy, very yummy. So I'm going to make a filling for these, and tonight I plan to rebake them with the filling in the skins and then put some toppings on them. So I'll do that, and we will talk as we go along. So does anyone have any questions about sweet potatoes or potatoes in general and cooking them? Like I said, I find when you bake them, the flavors get so caramelized. It's so yummy, and they're great to puree in soups in the fall and all of those things. So here I have, I'll bring the camera down, I have a salad mixture with, I chopped up some, what did I chop up earlier? Red pepper, yellow zucchini, green onions, and then I added a can of black beans drained and a can of kidney beans drained. And I'm mixing that together. And then I'm going to add some salsa. I have no idea what this one's like. It was on sale the other day, and I thought I'd try it. Any of you try it? What do you think? I don't know. My kids really love the salsas that are peach and pineapple salsas. I can't have a salsa that's too spicy. When it's mild, that's what I go for. I don't know how people eat hot salsas. Oh my gosh. I cannot even go with a medium. So I'm just spooning this in, and really it goes to, to your preference. So again, this is cooking where you don't measure things. You just find what you have on hand. Like I was thinking, I taught yoga this morning, and I knew I wanted to do this class today, and I was like, what am I going to make for supper? I knew I wanted to have some beans, and I thought I need to cook sweet potatoes to make the cake tomorrow. So it all came together. I thought, okay, I'll batch cook sweet potatoes. I've got a can of salsa or a jar of salsa. I'll mix it together with some stuff and fill up the sweet potatoes. So I'm mixing that in. If I had lime juice, I would add some lime juice to this, because lime juice in salsa and Southwest flavors is amazing. It tastes so good, better than lemon juice. I'm going to add a tiny bit of cumin, and you don't have to add this, but just a little bit of cumin. And I also add a little bit of allspice or cinnamon. And I know that sounds really strange, but go with it, trust me. Try it a little bit, like I'm talking a couple of pinches. And then you can season to taste. You can taste it and add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. But basically that's all I'm doing. That's going to be my mixture. And this is also, right here, a salad, right? This can easily be a salad. So maybe you portion out half of this and put it in the fridge for tomorrow. And then you can chop up some cucumbers, some avocado, mix it in, and then you have a lunch salad, right? It's really about repurposing the food that you have on hand. And that's how I cook every day. I may make a recipe, but then I find a way to repurpose it the next day. And I do have a stuffed potato recipe like this coming up in the new book too, which is not till next summer. I know it's a long time away, but for me it's not, because we're already doing the editing for the book. Hi, Simone from PEI. I've never been to PEI, and I'm originally from Newfoundland, so I know it's beautiful there. So I'm scooping, I'm going to open up the sweet potatoes, and I'm going to save a couple for tomorrow. So I think I'll save the orange ones for the cake, or at least one or two of them, because I know that they are the softest to use for the filling. Let's see which one is softest here. Okay, so this one is softer. So I'm going to put aside the two that are really soft. And then I'm going to scoop out some of the filling. So I want to make sure you guys can see this. Do I make any kind of pickles? I don't. But maybe if anyone has a great pickle recipe for Simone, can you maybe pop it in the comments? Because I've never made pickles from cucumbers. I've tried growing cucumbers and I do not do it so well. I have one growing, but it's not doing the greatest. So if anyone has like a fabulous pickle recipe for Simone, maybe pop it in the comments. So I'm scooping out some of the sweet potato. This I could also save for the cake. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it in the fridge, and I can use this filling another day to use in wraps. Mash it on a wrap as like a sticky layer for a wrap. You can use it in other baking. I use it in salad dressing sometimes. I have a sweet potato hummus. So there's a whole lot of things you can do with this. Just going to do a couple of these right now. And then when you serve these, you know, it's kind of up to the person if they want to eat the peel. I find my husband eats the peels and likes them. I find the kids don't always want to, so, you know, you can kind of go with the flow. Whoever wants to eat it, who doesn't. Hi, Kim. Oh, I'm so glad it's inspiring you to cook. That's great, Tara. That's kind of why I want to do these videos, just to show people that, you know, it's not complicated. It's just food. It's just easy plant food. And I think it's Jeannie or Jean, I'm not sure. Hi. Okay, so I've got the filling here, and I'm going to put it back on the pan just for stability. Because now that I have the flesh scooped out of some of those, they are not as stable. So I'm going to put it back on the pan. And then all you have to do is take some of this filling and add it into the sweet potato boats, or whatever you want to call them. And then you bake them up. And you don't have to bake it for long. You're really just warming the filling. In fact, you don't even have to bake it. I mean, if it's a hot day, you could just eat it like this. If you want to use like a melting vegan cheese on that, you can do that. A little vegan parmesan or mozza or something. What I'm planning to do is I made a cashew cream earlier, and I wanted to make some anyways. So I used my Blend Tech, this jar that I mentioned the other day in my video. It's so good for sauces and dressings, and I'll show that. So after I bake these, and I'll probably bake them at 450 for maybe 10 minutes. That'll do it. After I bake these and take them out, I have this cashew cream, which is super thick. And I actually blended it with a little bit of vegan yogurt. Just plain vegan yogurt. So it's somewhat like a cashew cream meets a sour cream. And I do have a cashew cream recipe in Plant Part Families. I also have one on the blog, so you can go look. It's dreenaburton.com. But even here you can see I have that idea on the sweet potatoes. And I had some leftover corn on the cob, so I took that off of the cobs. And then our youngest loves corn, so I'm just going to have that as a side, and she can sprinkle it on hers, and anyone who wants to have it can sprinkle it. And the last thing I'm going to do is clean some lettuce and serve that alongside with a cilantro dressing. So I know cilantro is one of those love-hate things, so thumbs up if you love it. How many thumbs up would I get? Thumbs up if you love it. I'm interested in how many people really actually love it versus how many people really don't love it or really hate it. Maybe give me either or. Do you love it or hate it? I have a cilantro lovers dressing coming up in the next book. And when I'm writing a book, I tend to make the recipes that I'm making for that book frequently, right? Because I'm just kind of like finessing them as I go. So even though we're in the editing stage, I'm still like retrying them, just making sure everything's in place. So I made it today, and this is it. So it actually needs a little bit more of a pulse. And if you love cilantro, okay, Mary loves cilantro. Melissa hates it. Oh, not loving cilantro. Okay, Simone says she is eating a beautiful peach for dessert. I like peaches this time of year. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. So if you love cilantro, you will love this dressing. And it has lime juice in it, and it's oil-free. It uses pumpkin seeds to bring it together, and it's quite amazing. I'm not the biggest cilantro lover, but I do like it with the right flavor. So I like it with something like this, and I actually love this dressing, even though I'm not someone who, you know, just craves cilantro. It's funny because my photographer hates cilantro, and she was making this dressing, and she had to have her husband blend it for her because she couldn't stay in the room because she said she hates it so much. More, okay, it tastes like soap. See, I think that's the thing. You think it tastes like soap if you don't like it. It's kind of like for me, beets taste like dirt. I want to love beets, and I'll eat a little of them sometimes, but they really taste like dirt, kind of, to me. So, yeah, and one day I made this cilantro dressing, and I left it in a jar on the counter like this. And we reuse jars like this all the time for drinks. So I had made green smoothies in the morning, and one of the kids didn't drink it. And, well, I thought she didn't drink it, but it was my cilantro dressing. And so, long story short, I made the cilantro dressing. It was dinner time, and my husband said, "Who didn't drink their smoothie?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess that was Charlotte." And I said, "It's not going to be fit to drink now." And he said, "No, I'll drink it." And I said, "No, throw it out." And I chucked it down the sink. And then I went to make dinner, and I went, "Oh my God, I did. Yes, I threw out the cilantro dressing." So, moral of that story is let your husband drink the motley smoothie, I guess. So, blended cashew cream with yogurt is, yeah, it's really good. It kind of makes it a little bit more like a sour cream, right? It adds a little bit more of that sourness. So when I make this tonight, I'm going to bake these up, drizzle on the cashew cream, have some greens with the cilantro dressing, call it dinner. And if any of these are left over tomorrow or tonight, I will save them for tomorrow, and then maybe take the peels off and add them to a wrap for lunch. So repurposing, right, your meals. And I'm giving a lot of tips on how to do that in the next book, because I think people want to find ways to not just make a recipe or a dinner, but then how to translate that into another meal for another day, right? Just to make life a little easier. So any questions, guys? I'm going to sign off pretty soon, but if you have any questions about sweet potatoes or this salad mix, pop them in there. Hi, Jamie. Nice to see you. Yes, another cilantro lover. So there's more cilantro lovers here so far. So some of you will enjoy this dressing, I guess. So that's about it. I will add some of the recipe links in the comments after. So if you're wondering about the chocolate zucchini bread that I showed, I will pop that link below. And if you're wondering about the cashew cream, I do have a cashew cream on the site, so I'll post that one as well. And yeah, anything else that comes to mind, I'll add it in there. So my site is dreenaburton.com, and I hope you found some of this useful, guys. Come back for another video soon, and have a good dinner. See ya.